Welcome to Liza's Paint Parties. I'm Liza, and tonight we are going to paint our version of this lovely inspiration image. So, as always, all the images that are on the Paint Party site are images I find online through Google searches. I don't own the rights to this image, nor have I painted it before, so this will be my first time. So if you have any questions or if you have any tips or suggestions as well, feel free to put it into the comments and we can all learn from each other. And so I'll talk you through how I would go about recreating this image. I'm really excited for this one. It's definitely going to be a little technical. Someone had asked if there was any templates or anything, and I don't have any of them because, again, I'm not the initial creator of this. So I'm going to be freehanding it and see how it goes. And I'll walk you through how I'll be doing that. So I'm really excited to try this out. If you'd like to start, I'm going to be painting my canvas black just to get a nice dark background so the colors really pop on it. So if you want to start doing that now, you can feel free to. I'll be doing it in just a little bit. And we do need to wait until it is fully dry. So if you are starting to paint it black, and you can use like a blow dryer or something too if you want to speed up the process to get that fully dry. My canvas this time is a little smaller, so I'm still using a canvas board. This is a 9 by 11 I'm using this week instead of my normal 11 by 14. So just for fun, I kind of wanted to try a little bit smaller in this one. But that's pretty much it. So we'll get started in just a little bit. I'll go through a few things. So the way the paint parties work, if you haven't joined before, is every week on Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time, I post 3 images that I find online, and then everyone votes for their favorite, and the one that has the most votes by Tuesday at noon is the one that I will attempt to recreate live on Wednesday. So I definitely encourage you to make it your own. This is an inspiration image, so you can change anything you want about it. It's for us to be inspired and to have fun with this process. And this one was really fun. I remember always loving to draw eyes when I was in high school and in school in general. So even when I was younger too, something really captivating about it. So I'm really excited about it to see how it's going to come out in paint this week. In terms of supplies, I have a few items. So we have, obviously, I spoke about the canvas board a little while ago. I also have paints. So I use acrylic paint. I use acrylic paint from the dollar store. So they're pretty basic, cheap, easy to access paints. So I have red, yellow, blue. I have black and white. I do have some other colors as well. So in this, but really if you have the primary colors, you can mix any color from that you will need. But again, if you have purple or pink or green or whatever, it's always nice to have some pre-mixed colors that you can just dip into when you need to. And I also have water containers. Acrylic's water-based, so I'll be using water to rinse out the paint and really help us a bit with the process. And I also have my paint palette that I'll use to mix the paint on and just to hold the paint as I'm going through. And I usually suggest having 3 paintbrushes, a nice large one for coverage. So this one's a size 10. It's a nice flat, nice brush there. I really like that's going to be what I'm going to use for the black. Like a medium size. And I suggest having a fine point. Where's my fine point? This is the one I prefer. It actually does give a nice fine point once it's a little wet, and you have nice control over it. If you have other paintbrushes as well, you don't need to have 3 of many more. That's totally fine too. That's just what I prefer. This medium one I use is a 4. Sometimes I use a 2. Just really depends. I might end up going more with a 2 for this one since it's a little bit more detailed. And then I have a few other fine point brushes too that I might dip into. I also have paper towel. So sometimes instead of fully washing off my brush, in this case I think we are pretty much going to be using a clean brush each time. Maybe for some of the blending we won't. But sometimes what I do in other paintings, I'll use the paper towel and I'll just wipe off the paint as opposed to fully washing it out. But yeah, so that's what we'll go from there. See how it goes. Hi Joe, glad you're joining. I know you wanted to do the heart one. It was that one and the lips tied. They had I think 26% of the votes each. That one looked really fun too. I was excited. I think the original one looked to be more like a watercolor version. So I was curious to see how that might turn out in acrylic. I might still play with that on my own another time, but hopefully you will still enjoy and have fun with this like colorful, pretty eye. I did actually, the lips that were on there was actually my painting from before, although I did paint from a reference image as well. And that one was super technical. So yeah, so I'm excited to do this one. I think it'll be a little bit more free flowing, a little bit. I feel like it's going to take a lot longer than I think it's going to. We'll see how it goes. Awesome. So again, too, if anyone's joining or if you can't paint right away and you want to check this video out later, you can definitely do it. So my videos will stay up on the Facebook page under the videos tab, and I'll also cross-post it to my YouTube channel, Liza's Painting Parties, as well. So you can watch at your convenience. And if you enjoy these paint parties, you can feel free to watch any of my previous videos too. All of them are up there. This is Paint Party 71. Last week I had to cancel the party for that, so we actually missed Party 70. And I'll try to see about rescheduling that on like an off time to do that particular piece. But we'll go from there. And I have something exciting coming up for July, so I'll be telling you guys about that later, and you can watch out for that, so that'll be really fun. Yeah, and if you are enjoying these are all free, so you can feel free to, if you want to support, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link there for the buy me a coffee link if you like. No pressure at all, but if you did want to, that would be the way to go about doing it. All right, also if you want to hold your own private paint party, you can definitely reach out to me and then we could talk about what those options would look like. I'm pretty open to paint like any image you want. So if you have something you love or you have an idea, we can always discuss that too. We can do something specific for your gathering. And I think that's my spiel. So we'll get started in about 3-4 minutes or so. Yes. All black. Yeah, so I'm thinking I will do it all black. I might do a black, I might make it a little bit like messy black, so I may not make it like a full-on like all of it's dark. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna start putting the black on, I think, before we actually start getting in. Well, we're gonna have to do it regardless before we get into the intricacies. So I'm gonna start off, I'm actually just gonna do this and put black paint on my canvas. I'm feeling like doing that today, so I'm gonna do it. And then I'm just gonna, let's cover my canvas in black. And just because I'm using this canvas size or a canvas board, again, you can do this and do anything you want. If you wanted to combine the paintings and make kind of like a montage with these interesting, disconnected, colorful body parts, you can absolutely do that. Feel free to do whatever your heart desires. I think I'm going to do it in portrait as well. So I'm going to have my picture up like this and have the eye. I think I might have it more like higher to the top here, I think, and then have the drips be able to come down further. That's what I was thinking. And I'm trying to remember to paint the sides of my canvas too. So if you have a canvas, whether it's a board or whether you have an actual canvas, remember to paint the sides of it too. So it's, right now it is fully black. I don't know, I think I want to, I don't know how easy it's going to be now that it's all fully black. Maybe I'll just keep it black. I don't know. Kind of almost want to like sponge it, like I want to make it look kind of a little different. Maybe have like lighter in the corners or something. I do think I want to play with it a little bit. Now just which way do I want to go? Do I want to go with like white? I don't know. I'm going to play with it a bit because I want the background, I think, to have a little bit more texture than just being solid. So if you want to do that too, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. Totally up to you. And I'm going to focus the camera closer on the actual image when we get into it. The colors will come out on the black background. We've done other painting parties in the past where we've used black background before, and once it's fully dry, the paints will come out. If you're finding that it's not where you want it to be, you might want to use white to like give it a base first and then have the color pop out on top. But in my experience, it's funny actually, I think the ones with the black backgrounds, I think I gave both to my mom, which is kind of funny. She's into the more of that. Yeah, there was one that we did that had it was like a mason jar with like lilacs coming from it, and the white stood out like crazy. The purple came out really nicely. The green did too. But I find that if there's any issues with it, then if you just layer it with white first, put white first, let it dry, and then put the color, it'll pop that way too. But it just has to be fully dry. That's going to be the most annoying part right now, is I definitely put a lot of paint on this, and to wait for it to fully dry before we can move on. I didn't get a chance to put on my like birds chirping in the background today yet, but I don't know if I want that today. I'm gonna just see. I want to put a bit of like yellow and see what I like about it or not. I want it to be like a little brighter in the corners, and I think I want to use like yellow. And then I'm just like, because the paint's wet still, and I want to make it look kind of like messy. So we had like kind of a, we kind of did this with one of our bird paintings before. And I think we also had this technique where kind of made it like painterly, like messy lines when we did like one that looked like rain. And it was like flowers, like red. I think there were tulips, perhaps. Can't even tell on the camera. That's funny. I'll bring it closer in a little bit. Yeah, but up here in Ontario, I'm close to Toronto. The weather has been absolutely gorgeous these last couple days. Hopefully you've had nice weather too, wherever you're tuning in from. Summer solstice definitely brought in beautiful, nice change of temperature. Makes me very happy. Nice to have that. So I'm just doing like the corners a little brighter, and I'll bring it a little closer afterwards, and you can see if that's something you want to do too. And if not, you don't have to. I don't want it to go too close because I still want the eye to be bright and to really stand out. It's giving it like a little like filter glow. I appreciate that, Joe. So I'm gonna bring it. I feel like I'm gonna make my hands really black. So there. So it looks kind of messy. Like I might still play a little bit with the lines. I don't know if you can see if I'm getting the glare on my screen or if you're getting it on your screens. But yeah, so I'm just playing with little edges to make it a little bit lighter. I feel like there's a little bit too much of a black smear in here, so I'm just going to tone that down a smidge. Just change it up a little bit. I swear I haven't been using Instagram filters like crazy or anything. I just although that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's one of those like sunburst, or I don't know if it's sunburst. I don't know what the filters are called. I like very strongly embrace the elder millennial jurisdiction I've been given, I think. So I know a little bit about what's going on in the social media world, but I'm not that hip. Although I still want to pretend that I am, I guess. Don't want to let it go. Alright. Okay, I'm going to let it dry. It's still a little bit wet in the middle. That's really what I'm going to worry. On the sides, I'm not really too worried about how long the corners take because I'm not going to worry about them anyways. But in doing the corners, it gave me something to do while waiting for the middle part to dry, which, as again, if any of you have painted with me for a while, you'll know that I'm pretty impatient. I can't wait to get started to the next step. So that helped me out a little bit. This is almost dry, and then we'll start thinking. So in this process, at this point, I want to start thinking about where I want to place the eye. And we're going to start, as we always do, in whatever is furthest back. It's going to be a little different this time, obviously, because we're going to have to play a little bit with the eye, right? But the same concepts are really still going to apply. So I'm going to start by, once it's dry, not yet, I'm probably going to use white paint. And I'm going to create the shape of the eye with the white paint. That's going to be my first step to get the nice outline going. Once I have that decided, and that's going to be a main focus, and depending how big you want this on, like I do want it to be a centerpiece, and I want it to be, I'm thinking, again, more above the middle of the line. I want the eye to sit. So I want the eye to kind of be like there, I'm thinking, so then the drips can fall from the halfway point down. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at making it like pretty large. It's going to be a little tricky because we're going to still want to put some eyelashes and some color. The great thing about it is that we can still play a little bit with the color, but we want to think about where we want, how big we want the eye to be. And I want it to be kind of like from here to like here, I think. So you want to take a look at your painting and start visualizing where that eye is going to live. Okay? And if you do it and you don't like it, the great thing about acrylic is you can paint over it and start again. If you want it to be a bit more technical, if you're like, oh man, like this is not working for me, what you can do is you can get the inspiration image. You can feel free to like resize it on a paper. You can print it, you can cut it out, and you can use it as your own stencil if you so desire. So there's different ways if you wanted to be a bit more precise about it. I'm going to wing it and do it freehand because I like the adrenaline it gives me in trying something that might turn out horrible. But we'll see how it goes. I'm drinking coffee. I don't know if anyone else is having some coffee today. It's like 6 p.m. I don't think a lot of it's caffeinated too. And it's going to stop soon, I'm pretty sure. Keep you up all night. Okay, this is almost at the point where I want it to be. It's still a little wet. My finger's dirty. I'm touching it, so we'll leave. Okay. I'm going to move, well, maybe not yet, because it'll be boring, I think, just to look up black with weird yellow things on it. Let's wait for this to dry a bit more. All right. Nice. Black tea. Delicious. I love tea. Okay, we have a little bit more of the white little spaces. I think I'm okay to start. I think. And if you're watching and you're not and you need a little bit more time, it's totally fine. You can rewind as well. So don't feel like, don't get rushed or don't get stressed out about it, or you can pause. I don't know if you can pause, but I think you can rewind. So you could just try if it works. All right, so I'm gonna move this here. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. As you can still see me a bit. Alright. So, move that a little bit closer. Okay, I'm going to get some white on my palette. And I'm going to pick a brush that I feel like I have good control over when I'm holding it. So whether that is your thin brush, whether that's a medium brush, whatever brush you feel comfortable and you feel like you can really control the line, that's what I want you to use, okay? So I'm gonna, I think, use what I use is my thinnest brush. It's actually a number 4, but it actually gives me a really good line. And it becomes quite thin once I wet it. So like now that I've wet it, it's like a really nice fine point. I'm going to use that to start to play with. I think I might switch to the one thing about the finer brushes that I don't like is it doesn't hold as much paint in the actual base of the brush. And I don't like that as much when I'm trying to draw a line. So with the white paint, I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to create like a crescent around basically where the eye would be, like where it meets really where actually that black line is where I'm going to be creating. And we're going to be touching it up afterwards with other colors, okay? So we're going to just do it. So okay, so I have like a mountain, a little hill, just to get the shape. Okay, and then it comes almost straight, but there's a slight curve, so it's going to basically come down and there's going to be a slight curve in, and then it's going to come out, and then it's going to come up. And see, this is why I don't like this brush, because it's annoying, but it's also why I like it, because it's thin. Okay. Now I'm just going to assess to see if I like where it's at, because if I don't like where it's at this point, now is when I want to make those adjustments and say, okay, it's not the right shape, or I want it over or bigger or smaller, or whatever you want to do with it. So at this point is when you have to say, okay, like, is it the right shape? Knowing that we are going to still paint tons of other elements to it and really make it pop. So don't scrutinize it too much, in a sense of like, don't get down too much, because I'm not super fan of how I want the shape to be, but I'm going to play with it a little more and make it more into the shape that I want. And I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to use my number 2, my medium brush, to do that, because I'm going to get this to be a bit more. So I'm going to end up filling this out probably pretty much all in white where I want this eye to live. But I do want this to be a little bit more rounded up here, and I have a bit more better control over that when I use this brush. So I'm just going to fill in with white. It's not necessary to, but I'm just going to do it this way. Okay, so that's where it's going to be. Hi, Jody. Okay. I'm just thinking Okay. So what I'm thinking now is part of me wants to kind of create the lines so then I can fill in and play with once I have them. So I kind of want to put in that eyelid crease just so I have a guide of where that's going to live. And I don't think I'm going to put in the actual bright colors around. I'll leave that for afterwards, and I won't worry about the eyebrow at the moment. But I think I am going to put in that crease just so I can follow where I want it. I think. Just debating, but actually I don't want to do that. The crease is like, again, like a black line that's going to go into that. I don't know if it's really necessary to do, but I am going to do it, I think, for my I don't think I want to use that brush. Just so like it makes sense in my head, and for me, I think it would be. Okay, so this kind of curves. And it's just give me a guide, but I'm going to end up playing with that anyways. This is going to come around here. I'm kind of like thinking like when I'm using a pencil how I want it to be done, and then I'm going to be playing with it more when I use the other colors. There's a little line there, but it's a different color. Oh, I'm so glad you did, Jody. Thank you. Hope you're feeling okay. Okay. So let's get to it. I'm going to put black on my palette. I want to play with green, but I'm going to use my blue and my yellow to play with green. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use, do I want to use blue or do I want to use black to start with that line around? Kind of want to use the blue. Okay, so I'm going to use the blue. My blue is a darker blue. This one's called Copenhagen blue. It's a bit darker. So I know some of them, like I have another blue that is like called tropical blue, and it's a very bright blue. Just want to clarify, it's like a dark blue, so if you have an option, go for like a darker one. And I want to start putting in the separation between, I don't even know what the parts are called properly, like basically the bottom of the eyelid and where the eyeball is. So I want to put in and say, okay, so there's like a nice white line that goes right there, that's like the bottom of the eyelid, right? So we want to emphasize that. So I'm going to go with my thin, and I'm going to create a very thin line. And I'm going to use my blue. It looks like it's not as dark as you would think it would be. So it's very thin on this side. And even though there's the eyeball there, I'm just going to carry it all across to give me that separation between one and the other. Okay, and I'm very much going to be touching up that as we continue this process. I think what I'm going to do, even with this blue right now, even though the eye is green and black, there is a little bit of that bluey purpley happening on this side. I think I want to put in where I want this guy to be. Okay, so also, so the eye itself, it's actually quite dark in this corner here too. So I'm going to just create that darkness. So it's going to go like this. Okay. And then I want to, this is all going to be filled in with a darker color. Okay, so make like a little triangle there. Okay, so I need to think about how I want the actual eyeball, where it's going to live. I think I'm going to do it with the blue, and then I'll change the color as I so desire. So the eyeball, it's actually quite large, right? So it kind of comes around. It is circular, so you might want to use a stencil of some sort to try to ensure that it makes sense. It does have to hit the bottom of the eyelid, or else it won't make sense. So I'm gonna try to hand draw it, and if it doesn't work out, I will try again and use like a stencil or something. Let's see how this goes. I just put 2 curves on either side. Not as circular as I want it on this side, but we can always touch it up and play with it afterwards. Okay. And again, all of this area is quite dark. Still going to leave a separation so we have that separation from the black. Okay, and then there's like a break in here, and it cuts down like that. It's a bit darker up here in this area. Okay, so now bruh, yeah, it's moving a lot. That's right. Okay, so now breathe. Okay, so now I want to play with some of the color, and I'm going to look and see what I see, and I'm going to try to emulate it. So I see blue, and there's quite a bit of blue here. Almost like a purpley blue, to be honest. I want to add a little bit of purple in there. I'm just going to start to like fill in a bit of the color of how we want this eye to be. If you want to make it a blue eye instead, you could do that too. All right? And then there's a little bit of black that's going to come out around this side. Okay. Okay. I'm ready to get some green going, so I need to make some green first. I'm just going to mix some of my blue into my yellow to get a green. I may or may not like it. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. Maybe I should use my bright blue and my yellow. That'll make it more brighter. I think I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to get a bit of that bright blue on here, and I might mix that one instead with the yellow, because I think that will get me that bright green. Yeah, I think that is a little better. Okay. Okay. Play with that and then we'll see. Okay. So I'm just going to start putting in kind of lighter color, green color. I'm not going to worry so much about everything looking perfect. Right now it's not going to, because we're still playing, right? So we're just going to pop the color on as we see it in the inspiration image, or as you, however you want to change it to make it your own. Okay. But what I am going to do is I'm going to bring the color in far enough so when I put in the pupil, it will land on top of whatever color variation play I'm doing. Okay, and then closer here, it actually has a little bit of yellow, I would say. A little bit of yellow coming. I'm employing the tactics of like when if any of you have ever paint or drawn an eye before, how like you like make it all the lines go out from the eye, and that makes it look more realistic, because when you look at an actual eye, that's how it appears. I don't know if that made sense. Okay, and I might just go back and grab a bit more of the black. Get some green. Okay, so I think that's kind of, I know my pupil is going to be in that area in the middle there. Okay, and I'm still going to put some shadows and play a little bit more with all of these colors. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see a little bit of what I've done so far. So that's how I've played with the colors of the eye so far. Okay. Alright, so pupil. Let's put that in. So black. Back to black. Okay, so let's start small and then make it bigger. Sorry, I'm not talking. When it's exact like that, it freaks me out and I have to like fully focus on what I'm doing. So I just put in a large black circle. Like that. Okay. Okay. And now there's a lot more black going on all around the top of his eye. So I'm going to pop that in now. I think. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Okay, that's what I'm going to do right now. That's weird because now it's going to blend into the background. I'm still going to leave like a slight line of white because I want to still see where it separates from the background for now, and then we'll get rid of it later. This is like darker right there, as we see in our inspiration image. I want to play with that blue a little bit more. I feel like it's getting like losing focus all the time. I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting the blue and then I'm just mixing it into the black so that it looks a little bit more natural, the shading that we have on either side. Let's not get any more blue. Okay. Got that going. Pretty good, pretty good. Thank you, Nick. So, how we have so far. So I just put in, again, that it's darker, and I've just left a slight white line just so I know where the difference is between the background and the eyeball. That's just for my own reference. Okay. So pretty. I think I need another sip of my coffee before it gets cold. Okay. So, once my black dries, I'm going to put in those white, I don't know what they're called, like the white light spots, essentially. And that's really going to make it look more realistic and come and pop. And then we'll play a little bit more with some of the details, I think, before we move on to the bright colors. So I think I'm going to do that right now. I want to just have a bit of a clarify what that line is. Okay. Make sure it's separated nicely. But I do want it darker, so I'm just putting a little bit more black around here. Still want the blue to still come out a little bit. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so next up. Thanks, Tori. Alright, so, maybe we'll wait before we put that on and we'll play with some of the colors. Yeah, maybe. The eyelashes are going to be done at the end because that's the thing that is right on top of everything. So we're going to do the eyelashes at the very end. What we're going to do now is, I think we're going to start, I was going to put in like the white little marks on the eye, but I'm going to wait for a bit I want to start and put in the color around and on the eyelid. The eyelid is a little, it still follows similar because we still see the differentiation between where the eyelid is and where like the brow, I guess, or the, I don't know, eyelid, yeah, the brow bone, I suppose. So I'm gonna play with that. Okay, so I need red. Okay. And I do have some pre-mixed pink and orange. I might use some of that. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna pop them on. I do like this pre-made pink I have. It's called Tutti Frutti, and it's like very happy and like bubble gummy, which I really like. Okay. Give it a moment. Okay, now, I feel like, oh my god, there's like a wire for my circle light, and I kept touching it. I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna pull it down, come crashing down to the paint. Okay, let's start. So, it looks like it goes from like pink to red to orange to yellow to green to blue. And then maybe like an indigo, I suppose. I'm not sure. All right, let's play with that. Which one do I want to use? I think I want to use. Maybe I'll use this one. I don't know. I don't know which brush feels right. This is what happens. Which brush feels right? Okay. Still like a very bright. I'm gonna mix a little bit of my red into my Tutti Frutti pink, I think. I want it to be a little bit more bright. No, I don't know. Okay. I have a purplish going on, but I'm kind of digging it. Maybe I'll start with a purple. Okay, so pink or purple? Kind of a purple. Whatever, let's do it. I'm so scared to start this part. Okay. Just do it. Just put it on. Definitely purple. And I'm going to go around the here too. I'm going to have to play with that line anyways and add more details to it. So I'm just going to put this color right on it. Okay. And we're going to go into red. So my red does not stand out on black at all. Okay, so that's going to need some more layers. That's it. If you're using dollar store paints like me, you will find that. So my red is just like poo-poo caca, not working. I'm going to just put white where I want my red to live. And then I'm going to have to come back and add red to it just so it is visible. A little bit, it's still very pink. I'm going to go right over that brow line right now, and then I will redefine it with black anyways after. I'm gonna put orange, so I'm just going in the color, following the order of it, and just mixing it into each other nicely as I go. And again, noticing that I might have to do a second coat on top once this first one dries, because it does, some of these paints I have aren't strong enough to be on top of the black, and that is okay. I think I need to go a bit higher with my color, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit more. My orange is taking over. I didn't worry so much, because I know I'm going to have to go over it again, but I can't help it. That red is so poopy. Okay, I think I want to put a little bit more yellow, and I'll go into green. Okay, and I need to get this green. I need to mix more green, la 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 la. Cool. Let's keep it going. Okay. I might actually use this like turquoisey blue I have next, and then I'll go darker after. For funsies. Add a little bit more color to this rainbow eye. Okay, I'm gonna get my blue going. Oh no, I probably can't even hum songs that are like copywritten. I gotta watch that. Okay, so we got a rainbow around the eye. So far, like I said, I'm going to be going back over it and retouching it up. The eyelash is going to come bloop out that way, but I want to keep bringing this blue, beautiful madness around. And it's pretty thick, so I want to bring it around. I'm just going to start color blocking where I want each color to be. First. And then I might play with some of the drips. I'm very particular, like I want the drips to stand out a lot, so even though I might do drips, I might still just like fully paint them in, like where I want them. I'm a little too crazy. Yeah, I can for sure, Joe. The blue is a little, so that's what I have so far. So you can kind of see the white line of the crease of where I want that, the eyelid to be. And once I get the pigment a little bit more bright, I'm going to put another coat on top and do the same thing I just did with the colors. Then afterwards, I will put in that crease line again. Or I'll do it in black this time. That is my plan. Alright. So you got it nice and close. Right. Goes back. It goes back. Okay. And I'm just bringing that one around a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to venture fully. I kind of want to venture a bit into this like drip fun area because I think I want to probably put in another layer of paint to make it really bright and make it pop. Kind of purplish on this side too, which is nice. Anyways, okay, yeah, let's continue. I'm going to continue putting in the color I want on this side. Okay. And I'm going to use like a bright blue here. This blue is, it has a white base, and it goes on the black like nothing. It's like, yeah, and what? What do you got for me, black? No problem, I can handle it. It goes on, and it is like intense. It looks good. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do the drips yet. Yeah, I keep going back and forth on that. I think I'm just going to put in the color underneath and then, I don't know. I'm being a little too particular. But that's what I'm going to do. So you can do it this way. You can change it up. If you have another approach, you're more than welcome to do it as well. So now I'm going back the other way with the colors. Now I'm going to green. Now I'm going to go to yellow. Okay, I'm going to go orange. I'm going to go red, which is not going to come out because it's poopy. And then we're going to go to this purpley pink thing that I made. Okay, and I have this pink color in between. Okay, so I just went around in the colors before I started doing any other drips or anything else. And I'm going to go back over the colors just to make them a bit more vibrant and to make them pop now that they've dried. So I'm going to go back over the same thing and just go right around again with these colors. just gonna go back around the rainbow eye. Okay, my green, my green. Okay, and then my blue, my bright peacock blue. Okay, and then the nice deep blue. I'm going to bring it around and go backwards. I think I want this to brighter blue be on top of this darker one. Mix it in a little bit more together. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, oh, I like that. That's cool. That is so cool. Okay. And then, so again, you want to make it your own. It's not going to be the same. I am going to do the drips. I'm just not doing them yet. So if you're looking and you're like, it's not looking the same. Still going. We're still going. Okay. The rainbow circle around the eye. So I've just made it a little bit more opaque. This part still needs a little bit of touch up, this red area right there. So I'll do that in a little bit. But for now, that's what we got. And I'm noticing too in the eye, it's not pure white right in there, so I'm going to be touching that up too. Gray's coming through and I don't like that, so I'm just going to touch that up. I want this to be white, white. Not gray. There we go. That's better. Okay. Everyone doing good so far, I hope. It's already been, oh, it's already 7. But we have a nice rainbow circle around the eye so far. Again, you can fully change this up. You can maybe, instead of having it like this with drips, maybe make this into like a heart and have a really rainbow and full color. Maybe have a heart that's dripping. You could do lots of different things to make it look unique and make it your own and make it fun. Okay, so yeah. I think what I want to do now is I want to play a little bit. No, I think I want to go back up to the top for a little bit. Take a little break. I'm going to put in that crease line in black with my thin brush. So I wanted to start like here. And I need it to come around. I should put it here and bring it back down. So I'm going to bring it around that way. Okay, I'm going to use black as well. And I want to just, there's a bit of an outline around the eye. It's a little darker, so I want to just put that in. That. It doesn't go all the way around. It does have a little bit, I do see it kind of come this way. And it just kind of like fades a little bit there. Okay. Okay, now I think I am going to go and put in, just make this fully dark around here. Get rid of that white line entirely. Okay, it's like outlining with that line. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. I wish I could like help you and like see it and be able to guide better through it. Okay, so it's also a little bit darker down here too. There's a bit of a darkness here. There's a bit of a highlight here. I do want to play and put those things in, but maybe not just quite yet. I'm not sure where I want to go next. I think I want to put in those eye lights, like those dots in the eye. So I see one that is like here. And it comes down. And it curves down. I'm just going to put that here. It's like pure white. My camera's, it's totally going out of focus every once in a while. It's really annoying. Okay. And then there's like a little bit here. And it looks like there's another little line here. Freaking love putting in these white lines. It makes it look so good. Okay. So that I just put those 3 kind of random white blobby shapes. And now when you look at the eye from a distance, it's like, whoa! And that makes it very fun and cool. All right, let's see. I also see there's a little bit of white highlight here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of like this white, almost like a little white oval, kind of in this area here. Okay. And the lashes look white to me, but then they also kind of have a wash of the colors that are shown behind them. So I think I am going to put them in as white lashes. And I think I might do that now. And then I might go back and then do some of the drips and then add some more of the highlights and whatnot on the eye. There's a little bit of a highlight here too, like just under the eye. I don't know if I should put that in. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the eyelashes first. Okay, so I think I might start out like here and push in a bit closer. I wonder if this is what it's like to like put in like people's like fake eyelashes. It's like so gentle. One at a time. I'm putting some in random spots. I'm kind of just doing some of them. And I'm noticing that they're not all in the same direction either. But they are thinner and then they get thicker as I get closer to the base. So I'm trying to do that. And I'll have to go in and put the other lines in afterwards. I might have to go back and touch up my black lines from what I can see. Okay, and there's some smaller. Ooh, weird. Oh, thanks for joining, Jody. I'm excited to see your black and white version. I love that you joined. Hope you have a good night. I'm gonna add some more lashes as we go. Not sure how many I want to do. I still want to. I have to still get some other colors going on here because they're not all white, obviously. There's some like that have kind of like a bluey purplish tinge. Okay, so that's what I have so far for the white lashes that are around there. And now I'm going to dull them out a little bit, or add a little bit more, just because it's not just bright white, there's some other kind of colors happening. So I just want to get a bit of this blue, kind of like a wash in a way. And I'm just going to just kind of touch some of the ends. Just to like not make the white so prominent. So I'm using water. It's like putting a lot of water into the blue, and then I'm just like going over some of the areas, still keeping some of it with that white, but trying to go over so that it just like dulls it out a little bit. I'm gonna have to go over that black again, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna do the same thing with this lighter turquoisey blue. Do a wash with it too. Okay, something with the green. Same thing with the yellow. Okay, let's go back to the black, and I just want to clean up these lines of black. Ah! Ooh, there's a little water. I hope that doesn't clear it after. Okay. So I just put a little bit of that blue or like the different color wash on top of the white just to like dull out the lines a little bit. Okay. So that's what I have so far. I think I can also add a few like purpley lines. I think that would work too. Let me do that. I'm just going to mix some red into my blue to get a nice deep purple that I can use. And it looks like there's like a few that are living here. Actually, you know what? That does make it look better. It's almost making them seem like fuller. So I just added a little bit of that purple lines as well. Okay. I'm good with that. All right, now I want to do some play with this kind of drip motion thing that's going on. Actually, before I do that, I just need to make this a little bit more white. Again, this part looks a little bit too gray. I don't like it. Kind of dulled out the black line I had there though. So let's put that back in. Colors again. Now, I'm swearing pigment's not going to be strong enough if I actually try to do a full-on drip. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm just going to try to get this red a little bit darker. It's crazy, this red's poopy, so it's not working very well. Okay. I think I'm just going to go for it. Okay, I'm just going to use my blue. I'm just going to go and oops, I'm just going to go and create kind of a drip happening with my hand. Right there, I guess. Cool. Look at this purpley color. Pretty dark, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to go over that again. That's alright. Okay, let's get this bright blue and play with that again. So I'm just making kind of squiggly lines down, and I'm keeping them thicker at the top, and then they get a little bit thinner. And this one, similar to the inspiration image, I'm making it like half of this turquoise and half of this green. So I think that's a really cool idea, and I want to try and see if I can do it. That's so pretty. Thank you, Linda. maybe some yellow. Okay. Cool. That looks pretty neat. Oh, thanks, Bev. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I think the next little drip looks like it mixes the yellow and the orange again. So I'm going to put the yellow. Cool. And then let's get the orange. Okay, cool. And then start another orangey one. And I think I'm just going to put red on top of the orange because honestly, that red is not going to show up otherwise. I'm just going to put orange kind of until I think it makes sense. Maybe I'll stop it like here, I think. And I'm going to get red. I'm just going to put it right on top of the orange. See if it can hold its own a little bit better. There we go. Awesome. And I'm going to get that pink color. Cool. Okay, and then this purpley pink thing I made before. Okay, I think that looks cool. So you can see that again, my yellow, I would like to go over it again because you can still see a lot of the black underneath it. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I almost feel like I'm kind of done with it. Put some of the eyebrow in and touch up a few of these areas. So I definitely touched here with white, and I don't want that to be there. I'm just going to make it black. That. Touchy. Touch that up a wee bit. And there's a little bit of dark down here, and I didn't really put that in the way I want to. So I'm going to do that. Now, how? Let's see. Like that. Okay, so I got water, I got black paint, a little bit of black paint, and I'm just going to kind of wash it on top, so it kind of has a bit of a shadow there. I think it should kind of have a bit of a shadow up here too, actually. And it looks like there's a little bit here. I don't know. See if that works out. Touch that up there too, I think. Okay. Alright. Well, good. I think I'm going to leave that. I wonder if I can touch up my yellow yet, or if I have to wait. Probably have to wait a bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Alright. So we also have some fun eyebrows happening at the top there. Oh, thank you. So, how are we going to do those eyebrows? Well, that is a very good question. I'm not sure. That's my answer. And I think it's kind of like orangey. I want to maybe just play a little bit. Alright, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. I'm going to get some orange on my brush. It's the number 2 brush I'm using. I'm scared it's going to mess it up. Okay, the eyebrow is a little bit of a gap between there. And we're just going to have fun And if it looks bad, I got black paint and we paint over it, right? Right. Okay, let's just put this brush in and we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a nice bushy Brooke Shields eyebrow. I think that's like super in style now, like really thick eyebrows, isn't it? I'm not actually sure. It's a little too thick. It's okay. We'll go over with some other colors too. Okay, so I want to then now go into a bit of the blue. Which blue? This blue. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Complementary colors. Got the blue, got the orange. Okay, I want to get that purple, that deep purple I made before. Yeah. Okay, and then I want to play at the front there with like a bit of yellow. I'm gonna go whoosh, 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 whoosh. Carry that over into the blue. Nope, not like that. No yellow there. That's weird. Okay. I do want this bright blue. Let's play with that a little bit. Let's put a few little remnants of it here. Yeah. That's fun. Ooh. Yeah, that looks kind of weird. It's all good. Alright, I'm gonna get my thinner brush and a few like in pink. This pink reminds me of Gem. I don't know if any of you guys remember Gem. It's like a cartoon from the 80s. It's like dolls of her with sparkly earrings, and that would like how she would transform to her alter ego. She was like a regular, like mild-mannered person, and she'd transform to a superstar, like the original Hannah Montana. Getting white in here too. Why not? Why not? Ooh, so fun. Okay, a little yellow and do the same kind of thing. Now I'm just having fun playing with colors. Okay. I think I want to still getting black and just touching up Just wanted to mess it up a little bit. I don't know if I like that or not. I'll show you and you can decide if you want to do that. I feel like I kind of just made it look like a bit of a mohawk around the eye, to be honest. But, I don't know. I actually don't think I like that too much. Darn it! Okay, let's fix that or touch it up or something. Yeah, it's like a mohawk eyebrow, but I think I'm gonna leave it as is, just like that. Colorful, drippy eye. Such a cool image. I'm so glad that you guys all voted for it and chose it for our paint party for this week. Thank you, everyone who joined me tonight. Again, if you're enjoying these paint parties, feel free to buy me a coffee. There's a link there if you'd like to leave me a tip. If you are enjoying the parties and you want to see more, tons of the videos are still available. They're up and they are free on my YouTube channel under Liza's Painting Parties and also on my Facebook page under the videos tab. All right, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your week. And on Saturday, there'll be 3 more options for you for next week's paint party. All right, have a great night. Bye, everyone.